So, folks, we all knew that Donald Trump's presidency was going to be a revenge presidency. We said if we let this guy get back in power, he is going to take it all out on his political opponents. So, yesterday, there was a tweet that he put out, or True Social, that he put out to Pam Bondi that reads exactly like a text message. I don't know if he meant to text her and got crisscrossed and accidentally released a text out into the world. He definitely tried to walk it back after the fact. So I'm going to read these two side by side, and you all can be the judge as to what happened here because it really was truly weird. So here was what he put out for the world to see. He says, Pam. Now, that's what's kind of awkward to me about this. Right out there, he just puts, Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially, same old story as last time, all talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Shift, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is to be done. Then we almost put a Democrat supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with really bad Republican past, a woke rhino who was never going to do his job. That's why the two of the worst Democratic senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said that he quit and that he had no case. No, I fired him, and there is a great case. And many lawyers and legal pundits say so. Lindsey Halligan is a really good lawyer, and he likes you. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice. They indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served. Does that read like one of his normal Truth Social posts to you? Because, yeah, he does throw some all caps. And if that's the case, then that tells you, if this was an accidental text message, that shows you that he does all caps in text messages too. And I can tell you that I'm trying to think. I don't think I have ever like all caps in the middle of one of my text. I'll put a laugh out loud or a smiley face on the end just because things can get lost in translation and I want the person to know that I'm joking. Or sometimes I will literally put in parentheses that was sarcasm. I'll say something like that, but I've never typed in all caps when I was tweeting a friend. But again, he's wanting to go after these people because of what he feels was done to him. I've always said he was being held accountable for his actions, the actions we saw him do right out in the public square. But this is a revenge presidency. Now he did try to dial it back. And this is what he posted. Now, this reads more like a True Social post to me. This is more. So now he says, Pam Bondi is doing a great job as Attorney General of the United States. She is very careful. He's not very careful at all, but she is very careful, very smart, loves our country, but needs a tough prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia, like my recommendation, Lindsey Halligan, to get things moving. What we don't need is a Democrat-endorsed Republican. I will be nominating Lindsey Halligan to be the United States Attorney in this very important part of our country. She will be fair, smart, and will provide desperately needed justice for all. No, folks, he does not want justice for all. He wants justice for himself and retribution against everyone that ever tried to hold him to accountability. He also wants to make sure that he rewrites history and reshapes the narrative. And that's why that we are always going to be here calling this stuff out, because what he's really doing is trying to rewrite history. But here he gets asked about this whole Pam Bondi situation. And of course, anytime he tries to explain himself, he only makes it worse. Take a look.
No, I just want people to act. They have to act, and we want to act fast. You know, they were ruthless and vicious. I was impeached twice. I was indicted 5 times. It turned out to be a fake deal, and we have to act fast. One way or the other. One way or the other. They're guilty. They're not guilty. We have to act fast. If they're not guilty, that's fine. If they are guilty, or if they should be charged, they should be charged, and we have to do it now.
Do you ever think there would be a moment where he would say, okay, they're not guilty? Do you think that moment would ever come? Do you think we will ever have a moment where he will say, well, you know what? I disagree with this Democrat, but they're not radical left. Folks, he is always going to be labeling us as the enemy, calling us radical. And I will say here so many times on the channel, and I'll die saying it, that we are not radical for wanting people to have a living wage. We're not radical for wanting people in the LGBTQ community to be able to live the life they were born to live. We're not radical because we want women to have control over their own bodies. We're not radical because we believe in the Constitution or believe in a democracy. That's not radical. You know, I just wish we could get back to the days where we disagreed with political opponents. Back when John McCain said, I may not always agree with Barack Obama, but I'm running against him for president because I disagree with him, not because he's a bad person. And he took the microphone away from the woman who was accusing Obama of being a Muslim. And he said, no, ma'am, he's not. He's just someone who I have strong political disagreements with. There's nothing wrong with strong political disagreements. We're going to have them. It's natural. We should have them. But Trump is clearly right here in this moment trying to get revenge and trying to rewrite history and accuse anyone out there of being his enemy. Well, just because we disagree with him does not mean we're from the enemy from within. Just because we disagree with him does not mean that we should be rooted out like the vermin. Okay, that's the type of rhetoric that needs to be toned down. If you want to talk about toning down rhetoric, it's got to start at the top. It has got to start with Donald Trump. He's the one that's got to tone it down. But folks, at this point in the game, to me, it's too late. It's way too late for him to ever try now to backpedal on this one. I don't even think he could, and we know he won't, because it has to appeal to his base, and his base is hateful people. I do believe that there are people out there that are reasonable, and I do believe that I'm not saying that everyone that voted for Donald Trump was even MAGA necessarily. I think there's a lot of apolitical people who just weren't paying attention and whose papa voted Republican, so they thought it was their duty to vote Republican. I just really believe that there's a lot of people, more reasonable people, have to come together. But we have to recognize what Donald Trump is doing here. And he's clearly going after political opponents, because if he can make Adam Schiff into a criminal in his mind, and Letitia James and everyone else who tried to hold him accountable, if he can do that, then he can get everyone to stay silent about stuff like, I don't know, the Epstein files, which here lately we've not talked enough about, because he will enjoy any distraction or exploit any event that he can to distract from those things. But we have to keep calling for transparency. They love to use the word transparency. They love to throw it around. Mike Johnson loves that word better than anybody. Says it. Don't ever take a shot of whiskey every time he says that word. We've been very transparent with the American people. He loves to say that, but they're not. They never are. And we're going to be covering a lot more stories that will show you that they are not transparent. They're keeping a lot of things hidden. They're stopping a lot of things from coming out. And we have to keep the pressure on. We have to raise our voices and let them know that we are never going to back down. This whole thing with Trump calling on Pam Bondi, and then there's the MAGAs out there who are saying, oh yeah, fire her. She's not doing enough. She's got to do it quicker. Well, the reason why that she's not doing it quickly is because there's no evidence there and there's nothing to run on. The only hope that we have, I know these people are loyalists. I get it. I understand that the people Donald Trump has surrounded himself with this time are loyalists. But our only hope at this point is that some of them will be smart enough to realize there's got to be life after Trump and they have to have a career after Trump. And so maybe some of them won't put themselves in a position. Let's hope. That's all we got at this point, folks, is a little bit of hope. I know it's hard these days, but we have to continue to try to be hopeful and continue to call this stuff out. Trump is calling on Pam Bondi to put the hammer down because he wants to take all the attention away from the things that he's done, and we're never going to let that happen.